Welcome to what's our podcast?
Can we talk about it?
Welcome to Can We Talk About, a weekly podcast. Oh, hang on. We should make this like. Do you want to make it bi-weekly? I feel like weekly
Yes.
was too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we both have lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Demanding lives.
The
A
fact
bi-weekly podcast. A bi-weekly podcast where we dive into discussions on varying topics and find ourselves in different waters. I'm Cat Eater.
And I'm Johnny5. You can email us at cwtabout@gmail.com.
And today, we're going to talk about cinnamon. So, hiatus, how's it going? What you been up to?
Ladies. And
I've been up to ladies.
Gentlemen. No. I went to my high school reunion, and that went well. And then I took a hiatus from chess and then got back into it. And now I have an 1800.com or 1800chess.com blitz rating, which is a bad thing because that means that I was playing blitz when I wasn't supposed to.
That's against the rules.
It is. I shouldn't be doing that. I get addicted. But now I don't have to worry about that because now I get to get addicted into classical again. And the World Chess Championship is happening. If it's probably already happened by the time that you're maybe watching this, I don't know, because some of you don't really like watching these, and that's fine. But
Chess or these?
both.
That's fair.
That we don't have. Well, I mean, I'm just being 100. Like that was the one thing.
Do we have like 3 people watching? Maybe.
That's the funny thing to me. Yeah, and this is gonna offend the people that do watch this.
Well,
but
I mean, you're just special.
I'm just saying that like it was just that what was funny to me is that the amount of people that started watching it or listening after we took the hiatus.
Well, it's just like art, right? Like you died and now you're popular. You know.
Yep.
Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
All you had to do is go missing without warning, and all of a sudden people care. Take that lesson.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, same thing, different day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, where have you been? What have you been up to?
I don't know. Hang on. I wasn't prepared for the backside. Hang on. I don't know. I work in union stuff. No, you know what? If you're gonna talk about fucking chess, I'm gonna talk about fucking union shit.
Yeah.
I got a government relations committee for the state fucking union for classified employees. Whoop whoop. Hopefully nobody's listening that's from there because I cuss a lot. But and I feel like they're kind of anticipating making me the chair.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Because they asked me to understudy the current chair.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're going to intend to make me the chair, which would be pretty cool.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not because you told me that this was a thing, but they have her being like the person that's like, okay, well, when we put you into this, like, we're asking for you to be yourself kind of thing. Where you just, like, punch the shit out of them verbally.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's still like, you know, I'm not like a dick about it. Well,
No.
they probably think I'm a dick about it because I'm not talking like politicianese or whatever, you know?
No.
But, like, never have I ever not been myself in any scenario for the union stuff. And so they've come to expect the same things that my friends and family have, which is point the shotgun. So
That's good, yeah. Because that's what
I
we
do.
want from you.
Yeah. That's what I'm good for, you know?
Yeah,
We all have a role to play in this world. I'm the
absolutely.
shotgun of truth.
Yeah,
That
fuck a
sounded
lasso.
so cocky. Yeah, fuck a lasso. No, because the lasso has grace, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I lack that entirely. So I have to tell you, I've been sitting on an episode because we never did it. And I had already done most of the research for it. I didn't finish because we're doing a much more loose, format with it. So I didn't finish it, but I still have a bunch of stuff here for it. So I thought, well, I'll just use that for today.
Go for it. As far as what I brought to the table,
Uh-huh.
I brought okay, I have an episode.
This is so good. You want to know what he's going to say? He's going to say literally nothing. Go ahead.
Fuck you. Yes, as far as anything, absolutely nothing. However, I was going to do an episode on the Dust Bowl, right? And the entire time I was like, well, I don't have cards. So I need to, I could have written on paper or typed it or whatever. And
My
I was
husband
like,
has stacks and stacks of cards.
I don't want to do that. The thing that's been going through my mind right now is always it's all philosophy. And so I want to go down. I'm not going to go down Kyoto because I understand that that's going to be like, dude. And I don't want to go down that road. I would rather be able to inch us into philosophy by going through argument fallacies. So it's literally just going to be me going down a list of argument fallacies, and I feel like it might be a shorter episode, but even with that, it's very pertinent information. It's very important to know.
You know what I think might be really fun?
Huh.
What if we made actual presentations?
I would love that.
And then we wouldn't have to have note cards, and we wouldn't have to have paper. We could just work off the presentation, and we could totally do, like, Dropout does it, where they have, like, they all come together and they talk about, like, 4 different things, and nobody knows what it is until they bring the presentation up, and then they're like, wrestling is drag, but for men. And, you know,
and the other
like
person,
that.
so wait, I make you a presentation?
It's not a debate. Yeah, it's you make a presentation.
And then you give the presentation?
Yes, kind of like what we were doing, but with a PowerPoint instead.
No, but, like, we're making each other the presentation. Does that make sense?
What?
So, like, it would be like Impractical Jokers, where, like, you would have somebody, like, unknowingly goes into, like, has a presentation, but they have never seen the presentation yet, and they're the ones that are giving it.
Oh, fuck, wait, that's fun.
Right? Because then if you make me one that's on whatever we're learning about today, then I would be the one that would have to be giving it, and then learning it in the middle of it, and you'd be like, you could step in and be like, well, actually, this is how it would, and that would, like, totally flip everything that we do on its head.
Wait, that's so fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's a dangerous game.
I know, yeah.
I'll never be able to go back. That's so good. Okay.
It would be very hard to edit as
Great,
far as
here you
video
go.
editing. Oh, shit, okay. I'm here for that. All right.
This is great because you're not going to be able to skim it, so.
Oh, we're doing cinnamon. Dude, that's sick. All right, well, mine's going to be really easy to give you because, here, hold up.
He's going to have...
You're such a fucking asshole.
What did I even say?
I don't even know. That's what the problem is.
Okay, fair. Oh, but you didn't write it. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Great. Love this.
But it's going to give you I felt like that was the easiest one because it gives you examples of that kind of stuff. Anyways. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is a tree. I didn't even know that. What?
Yeah, dude. It's a whole ass tree. But there's... Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know it was... Okay, which I did not know. Until recently, so I added it to my list of things to learn about. Cinnamon is not just cinnamon. I thought that it was like something that grows... I mean, it grows, obviously, but like I was thinking that maybe it's like grass or something like that. Okay. In the U.S., all things cinnamon are allowed to be labeled cinnamon. All things cinnamon are allowed to be labeled cinnamon. Okay.
This will make sense.
But in countries like the UK, they are not. Things that taste the same can't be labeled actual cinnamon. There's
Hang on, I do want to pause for a second because the problem is that this all makes sense to me when I'm writing it because I go into this weird like madness stupor when I'm doing the research for all the stuff.
Yeah.
So like to me, everything in the order I'm presenting it makes sense. To you, it sounds absolutely like it sounds so bonkers coming out of your mouth. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, because that's the other thing is that there's no transitions. Right? Because in my, at least when I write it, it's like there's almost no transitions on mine either. Because I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk about this or I'll get a reaction from you. So, this is fucking great. Okay. There are several types of spices that are used to have this, that used to have the same, that are used to have the same taste profile, but actual cinnamon is one tree.
It's one kind of tree. There's different trees that people use to make cinnamon flavor.
Oh, okay.
But only one of them is actually cinnamon.
That's ridiculous. So you're telling me that, like, okay, in order to get, like, a refined cinnamon taste or whatever, like, you would have to add a bunch of extra different trees to it?
No, it's not really like that. It's like there's one tree that's actually cinnamon, and that's like really expensive and the good shit. And then there's trees that aren't cinnamon but still kind of taste like cinnamon, and so they use those. Like in the United States, I in fact have been on I don't know how long we've been on hiatus, but since I did
6
this
months.
episode, 6 months, I have actively looked in stores every time I'm at a different grocery store, and I have not found actual cinnamon.
Interesting. So is it well, you know what? We're going to learn about all of this later. So why am I even asking?
Yeah, it'll make sense later. I don't know why it doesn't make sense to you now.
Oh my god, I know. So cinnamon verum or cinnamon zeylonicum Britannica says cinnamomum. Wow, okay, that's not even, I just assumed that it was cinnamon. Okay, cinnamomum verum or cinnamomum zeylonicum Britannica says cinnamomum comes from cinnamomum, meaning spice, and verum means true. So it's true spice.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the actual, like the botanical name for cinnamon is, true spice.
Interesting. UCLA says the Malay word cayumanus, meaning sweetwood, is how the name began. And that makes sense to me.
Yeah, because it's like if you look at the actual word, it's similar in the way that cinnamon is spelled.
Okay.
Oh shit, you're gonna have to show pictures here in a minute, so I'm gonna give you your phone back for now.
Okay, fair enough. Then, okay, so UCLA says, yeah, okay, there we go. Then from there, the Hebrew word was cinnamon, and it built from there. There are a few varieties of cinnamon, but the good stuff, the OG, is that one. I love how this is worded. Okay, anyway, the other types of cinnamon type plants that we use to make cinnamon are Chinese cassia.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big boy producer, the big goods. Vietnamese and Saigon cinnamon names Cinnamomum larari.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Indonesian, which is
I was gonna look up how to pronounce them, so.
Cinnamomum burmani, and Malabar Cinnamomum citriodorum. Mm-hmm. That one is like the only one that I felt confident in. This tree is interesting because it's not just a tree. It's a tree that's a bunch of like little trees coming off of it.
Show picture.
It does say that, by the way. I'm supposed to show a picture of that.
Because it doesn't make sense, because I guess, like, really technically you could say there's a bunch of little trees coming off any tree, right? Because I did look it up. Actually, no, I didn't just look it up. I actually watched a tree grow from, like, seed all the way up, and the top of the tree is always the top of the tree.
So, it never changes.
The top of the
you have to
tree?
explain yourself, because to people that don't understand what you just said.
Okay, so I had this moment when I was, like, way overthinking some things. No. And I ended up wondering if the top of the tree is always the top of the tree, no matter how long as it grows,
Yeah.
or if it stays and it's new layers on top because of the rings. And if you think I'm stupid, fine. I never claimed to be smart. But I ended up finding like a time lapse over like 3 years of this tree growing, and the top of the tree is always the top of the tree. So when it's growing and pushing up and out, not adding layers to itself.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
So it's not growing from the top is not the bottom. It's like the top is constantly getting pushed up and up.
Correct, yes.
Okay. I think I found what we're looking for.
It's like just a bunch of branches stuck in the ground close together.
So I think it's this one that you're looking for.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So that's a cinnamon tree.
Yes.
And so that whole thing is like, what do you mean by?
It's like one. So like it's a bunch of those close together instead of one tree, and with branches.
Oh, yes.
It's a bunch of tiny trees.
It's kind of like bamboo.
Bunched, where it like thickets together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the tree is native, which is a laurel, to Sri Lanka mostly, and then tropical weather evergreen. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the type of characteristics of it.
Yeah, so it's a laurel and it's evergreen, so it's good all year. But also, I mean, I don't know how crazy like Sri Lanka's seasons are.
Yeah.
You know, like if I planted it here, one, it wouldn't grow. But let's say in one season it did, would it still be evergreen? You know?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how dramatic their seasons are there.
You and I likely had this, okay? We likely had Acacia cinnamon, Cinnamomum aromonacatum. It grows in Southeast Asia. The number one in America is Indonesian cinnamon and is the most common type said in the U.S. Sold in the U.S.
Yes. So yeah, I don't fix all my errors in these. I just know what I'm saying.
No, it says sold.
Oh, okay. You just okay. That was on you. That one was you. Yeah. I know there's typos in there. Yes. So, in the U.S., the most common tree is, what would you say, the Thailand one? Vietnam? What was it?
Indonesian.
Indonesia. Small Southeast Asian country. And then also the China one. But the thing that I realized when I was looking at it was that there's the OG, right? And then the further east you get, the less good and the less like the OG it is.
Oh, really?
But they're all like variations off trees, right? Like it's not like they're taking the good stuff and then mixing it with other things and making it less cinnamon. It's just they still kind of taste like cinnamon.
They
and
just
they're
grow in a different
spicy
region.
like cinnamon, but they don't have like the good stuff's more mild.
Yeah.
And this stuff's more spicy, and it's not as good for you. But we'll get into that. I think that does.
Is that why? Wait. So, do you think that that's why the churros that we got at the Lincoln City place, the cinnamon is probably higher quality?
Do you know how much self-control it took me last weekend not to stop at the cinnamon place or the churro place when we went by it?
Wow. If you didn't get one, that's insane.
Well, I had already used my special item. One, I didn't plan on going to Lincoln City.
Right.
We went to Newport because I wanted fried goddamn pickles.
Yeah.
I already used my one thing I could have. I had the fried pickles. So I couldn't stop.
That's hard.
For the churros.
Listen, those churros in Lincoln City, you gotta.
They were the best churros in the world. They're at this food cart place. Listen.
Pine's Dime.
Oh my god, I almost said, profoundly unacceptable shit. Still stop at Moe's, and then on your way out of Moe's, directly across the main street 101 is a food cart place, and you need to stop there and get the churros at one of those food carts.
Oh yeah,
they're incredible.
They're the best. It reimagined what I thought a churro could be.
Oh yeah, every time I've always had a churro, I've been like, this is disappointing, right?
Yeah, because it's like you get hot jelly inside of a crusted cinnamon thing. This one, it's there's almost no hot jelly.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Which is it's different because every other place are just let's just burn your mouth. Fuck you.
And some of us are texture babies, right? And so the jelly inside of a crunchy thing is just a no-go. It feels like soggy bread.
Yeah, I don't want a jelly-filled donut. I just want the donut.
No, I came here for a churro.
Yeah.
And those churros are everything I've ever imagined a churro is supposed to be.
Hell yeah.
They're incredible. Anyways.
And to go into the health benefits or side effects of stuff. So cinnamon has been used medicinally forever. And if you Google cinnamon, I mean, we know it's kind of flavored what the results are, but almost entirely the only results that come up for me are health benefits of cinnamon.
Do you know how fun it is listening to you read it exactly the way I wrote it?
I know, I can read you in this. It's pretty cool, actually.
That's so fun. Okay, anyways.
So, that being said, most studies involving cinnamon haven't been top tier quality, which is kind of lame in my opinion. If generations and societies before you have been using this stuff to cure ailments, why are you doing good quality studies to find out what properties it actually has and using it to your benefits?
I love you. Thanks for adding the crazy in.
Yeah, it escalated. When the sentence is 3 lines.
Then you know I started yelling.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, they're much sooner.
But it's true, right? Why aren't you using the actual good shit to figure out how good the good shit can be?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I guess maybe the idea is that like we use the other one so much more that that's the one that you should actually do. Because it's like, it would be like, well, in a world where we had like water and then we had water 2.0, all right? And for whatever reason, we start using water 2.0 way more than we ever used water. And then they started coming out with like, okay, well, let's get some health benefits of like water 2.0. And then you'd be like, well, why that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like, why would we look at water at all? I think that's maybe the idea. Okay, anyway, that was a little dip our toes in the water. Let's dive on in.
Oh shit, that was the dip our toes? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Where did cinnamon begin? If you told me that it was east and it was not actually east, my guess is going to be Iraq. And that's just Middle East. Like, I didn't go further than that. All right. Now, earlier I said cinnamon grows mainly in Sri Lanka. Yes, and mainly, that is true. That being said...
Did I capitalize that?
You capitalized mainly.
That's so good. Yeah.
That being said, and you also, when you did okay, you capitalized okay, and
okay.
then, but not the AY.
Okay.
Yeah. That being said, it is native to Sri Lanka, Malabar Coast in India, and Myanmar. Also, the West Indies. I think I want to do I see. You want to do an episode on the West Indies. That's, yeah. I just like the typo. Like I have here's so much in my life. Why? Gotta find out. Oh, I have heard so much in my life. Okay, there we go. We got there.
Yeah, clearly that was obviously a no. That's incredible. This is so fun. Okay.
Okay, so I went way too far. Okay, so it's in India. I should have just gone India because that's west of east, but still east.
It's west.
It's west. Dude, I can't tell you how much fun this is.
I'm having so much fun.
Okay. Anyways. Like, can I show some of this?
Yeah.
Okay, there's the A. Wait, like there's the A at the top. Can you see that?
Wait, there it goes. Wait, no, it only has the right side of the page.
Oh, okay. Is it
nope,
this?
The other way. Anyways.
Cinnamon was once more valuable than gold. What?
Yo, you malfunctioned. That was awesome.
In Egypt, it was used for embalming in religious jazz. What? They had religious jazz?
Oh, no, not like music jazz. Like shit jazz.
What?
Like, that's my shit? That's my jazz?
Oh, I got
religious
you.
Jazz.
Religious jazz. Like, okay, I got you now. Also, Roman. I'm like, dude, I'll
wait,
go for
I think I need to see if there is, though. Okay.
That's how you get people to Jesus.
Jazz.
Also, Romans used it to burn during religious practices as well. That makes sense. I think I've heard that. In medieval Europe, it was used religiously as well. And then at some point, someone in medieval Europe decided to try it as a spice for food. And it began to be used in feasts. Okay, good for them. And it became the most profitable spice for the Dutch East India Company. What? Is this the same? Which is the East India Trading Company? They answered right after it. Wait, so the Dutch are the East India Trading Company? That's crazy.
Yes! The Dutch own it. A bunch of Dutch...
Wow.
No, I'm not getting...
Good job. Yeah, this is for a later episode.
It's going to be an episode.
Yeah.
It's going to probably be multiple episodes.
It's a series. These guys are crazy. They show up everywhere. If you have been listening for this whole time, you should know.
You know what? They called what's-his-face the fucking black tentacled octopus whatever. It's not him. It's them. Well,
Cthulhu.
they were the first ones. No, not Cthulhu.
Oh.
No, Who was the guy we just did? And then we had the trivia questions, and it asked who all the money guys were for America, and it was all the money guys from the episodes we did for him. With the oil and the kerosene and the trains.
I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah. I don't remember. I think it was... like,
Not Carnegie.
But there was a ton of names for that, though. Right?
Well, yeah.
I think we're thinking of... Because it's on Jackbox Party. It is one of the packs. And I want to say the one that I was thinking of was the murder mystery one that also had all of the names of those guys.
That one was perfect.
But there was another one that you're talking about that was different. And it had like a specific... You had to answer this... one thing.
God damn it! It's one of like the royal American families. They're not actually royal, but because you make a bunch of money, they.
But they're saying that guy is the Cthulhu.
Yeah, they call them like the black armed octopus or some shit because he was oil and he had his fingers in all the pots.
Had everything and everything. Yeah.
The Dutch.
Fascinating. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's where it started.
I just thought that they were just like doing their own thing. That's crazy.
No, that's where it started, and the whole reason it was. Nope.
Okay.
Do I start yelling?
No, you called me out. I forgot you only like 2 free lookups on Britannica a month. So I looked at the subscribe option. They want $8 a month. Dog, you know how much I would have at use to just justify that? Crazy. Anyway.
Too much.
This stuff has been around.
It's just a lot of money. I'm just saying.
It is. I like that you write jokes in here. That's what. This stuff has been around, traded, and beloved forever. We're talking Pliny the Elderberry, baby.
Do you remember Pliny?
I remember Pliny.
You brought him up in Broccoli, I think.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. He's back?
He's back, baby.
He's my hero. He wrote about cinnamon too. Of course he did.
Yeah, dude.
Of course he did. He only writes about like I was about to say fruit. He only writes about vegetables.
Well, no, he doesn't, because cinnamon's not a vegetable.
What? Because it's a tree. Oh, okay. He writes about plants. There you
go.
All right.
He's a botanical fellow that likes to eat it.
That's so cool. This guy's metal. He said a pound of cinnamon costs 50 months worth of a commoner's labor. A pound? Dude, no wonder. Okay, that's why the British were going everywhere. Because they're like, well, we gotta get cinnamon.
We gotta get that shit.
That's crazy.
Well, that was a large reason why they were going everywhere, right? Was to get things like sugar and cinnamon. Spices were such a big deal.
I didn't realize how expensive that thing is.
Yeah, 50 months. I mean, they were making nothing. But, yeah, 50 months. Every 5 years, kid. We'll have some cinnamon on that cake.
Here's a retirement fund.
It's just a bag of cinnamon.
It's not even a whole bag. It's just
just like a satchel. A little, like a dice pouch of it.
So sad. So 13th and 14th centuries, Venice controlled the cinnamon trade. Most of Egypt's cinnamon was probably actually acacia, which was growing in groves around the city of Quellen, literally translating to cinnamon forest. So
yeah.
They just had like a forest of that.
So they took a bunch of the acacia and brought it over because it'll grow in more places. So one of the reasons why real cinnamon's so hard to find and why it is so rare is because that's the same thing. I just said redundancies. Is because it will only grow. It's kind of like coffee beans, so they'll only grow at the one elevation, right? They'll only grow in this one space that has the exact right environment for them.
That's crazy.
So the knockoffs are much more movable. And so they brought it to Egypt and then they just grew forests of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it doesn't need to... Okay, that makes sense.
Well, and it's easier if you could supply it yourself rather than buy it from someone else.
Well, yeah, you get that. If you're not importing stuff, being able to export stuff is much better. Yeah. In the 16th century, Portugal was like, yo, check this crazy good stuff in Ceylon. They took control of the true cinnamon with an iron fist. Then the Dutch and Portuguese started fighting over it. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, spices start wars, yeah.
They're a big deal.
And by mid-17th century, Holland now controlled the cinnamon game. While true Ceylon cinnamon. Sri Lanka Rose had tried to take Ceylon back as their rulers were cruel, but all this did was allow Portugal a chance to gain more footing. So now they're just like this neighborhood in between two rival gangs, and they're fighting each other over and violently. And you're just like, hi, I live here, hi! The Dutch weren't fucking around, and they burned cinnamon to create shortages of it in 1760 in an effort to keep their monopoly on it. This drove the prices up, and everyone said, yeah, fuck it, we don't want this spice that much. And then England takes over Ceylon to try and make it popular again and make dollars. But it turned into a weird free-for-all because they got saplings from Ceylon and transplanted them to Guyana, Union, and Mauritius to grow. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Mauritius to grow on plantations, but it's just not the same. Guyana's cinnamon market was a total of 6,000 American dollars, 6,000 American dollars in 2022. But they're importing 360,000 American cinnamon a year. So the attempt to hijack did not work.
No, it did not.
That's crazy.
And I want to note, this was one of those moments where I really just chose the weirdest thing to really dig in, because I had to get into like people's GDPs and shit like that, you know, like I had to get on each different country it's absurd that I cared enough. But anyways.
No, that's good. That's the same level that I would have gone for that kind of thing.
Well, it was just like, oh, you did all this shit, you literally raised Earth over it, you know, and then you failed anyways. You know?
I know, yeah, just like, okay, good for you, I guess. Sucks to suck.
I want to make a reference to Epic so bad right now. I made it. How many minutes did I make it? I made it 30 minutes.
That's what she actually has been doing over this 6 months hiatus. And if we're being completely honest, it's just been the last like month or so.
Yeah, it's really only been a couple of weeks, but now I live breathing it. But yeah, I can't believe I didn't bring that up. Go listen to the Epic Musical on Spotify or wherever you listen to things. He's got a bunch of great stuff. Jorge Rivera Herranz, he's incredible, absolute genius. Listen to that shit so that they'll make some fucking movies, because I need them. Anyways, if you have listened to Epic, the whole thing, and made it through the Vengeance Saga, Cinnamon's like Poseidon laying on the ground, and he's like, you burned everything down just to beat me. Anyway.
I love that that's only going to be funny to like maybe 3 or 4 people.
If any.
Yeah.
Okay, that being said, though, he made it to 22 million plays in 2 days on one of his songs when he first brought it out. That's crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is in context to like other stuff.
Well, anything getting 22 million views in 2 days is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And that was just on Spotify.
If you happen to listen to that, definitely say something in the comments, because
tell me your favorite song.
She just needs to know.
Tell me your favorite song. Tell me your favorite one, and I'll tell you mine.
Okay, so let's talk about how cinnamon is made. I am here for this.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, why are you interrupting? No.
Well, I'm just worried about how I wrote this. Okay, go.
Cinnamon trees grow. You have to wait a while, obviously. Trees are not the fastest growers. When it's time, workers cut the trees early when everything is still kind of moist, and then they take them to their work area.
Yes, like early in the day.
Okay. Once there, they basically peel the tree. Like you would a carrot or a cucumber. Okay, and I didn't know that they said it.
Peel it, yeah. Does that say feel?
It says feel. You gotta feel.
They peel it. See, I really feel in my heart that it gets kind of like intelligible in this area.
No,
but yes.
It was just the typo made it, that's what actually.
Yeah, they peel them. Like they take this knife and they, cut the slit, and here we go. They cut the slit and then they just slide the knife under there.
Yeah.
And then slide it further in and further in. So you're staying just as thin as you can and taking that bark off.
Oh, so it's like if you want to give a crackhead an orange, you give them a cinnamon tree instead, because you have to only get the edge of it off. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like if you give a crackhead an orange, they're gonna peel it, but they're gonna have it like all It might be crack is not the right one, but if you give them one, there's like a drug where they'll just like it'll be perfectly like it'll be all in one piece. But
the peel?
The whole peel will be off of the orange. It'll be like.
I don't know what meme you're talking about, but I wish I knew and got to watch that.
It's dope. And I don't remember which drug it's supposed to be, so don't do drugs. Okay, so like you would a carrot or a cucumber. Okay, you peel the outer bark off. Okay, to get the outer bark off. Then they have the inner bark, and when you look at it, you can see the cinnamon oils in the layers, a dark ring around the heartwood.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, one of
So
those...
then I learned about trees and about heartwood and what's inner bark, outer bark, and heartwood. It was a very educational experience learning about cinnamon.
Cool. They beat the tree limbs up.
That's not a typo.
Like the exact opposite you want to do to a banana is what they're
a
looking
banana?
for here.
I know that says banana.
It brings all the oils to the surface for the next step. They take a knife and slowly, skin it?
Yeah, so again, they're doing the same thing where they get really, really close in there and just as thin as they can slice.
And they're skinning the tree to put that in there, yeah.
The inner bark. So let's talk about the anatomy of a tree for a second. You have the outer bark, which is like the scritchy shit, right?
Okay.
And then you take it off. But if you cut if you take like a branch and you cut it and you're looking at the rings, there's like the really, really dark, and then there's like a lighter spot, and then there's all the white shit in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the heartwood, is the white shit in the middle.
Oh, because it's like it all started as that kind of thing, right? Okay.
I don't know. It probably goes out and then gets like harder as the outer bark gets stretched apart, right? The stuff that's left on the outside must turn into outer bark and dry out, kind of like scabs on skin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plants and people are not very different. I keep saying that.
Yeah. They talk. No, I mean that.
Okay.
I meant that.
To each other, yes. Okay.
Yes. They communicate. Okay, they don't actually talk like us. They do communicate.
Yes.
Yes.
They do. So you've got the outer bark, which is the dark, scritchy shit. And then the stuff between the heartwood, which is the white shit, and the dark, dark shit is the inner bark. And that's what they're taking. That's what we use for cinnamon.
So they take the inner layer of bark off, and the thinner the layer, the pricier it is. They take it and dry it for a few minutes in the sun until it has some rigidity to it, and then they cut it to the length, which they then... They get enough experience, they know how long they need to...
Here's where it gets intelligible, but go ahead.
Which they get enough experience, they know how long they need to be just about to their little pieces of bark. So the small pieces are taken and placed inside the big quill of bark, rolled inside of it, like this. What am I looking up?
Yeah, good luck. I'm going to see if I can find it. So what that is trying to communicate, and not very well because the anticipation was not somebody else would be reading it, is that what they're doing is they get enough experience when you've been doing it long enough, right? You get enough experience that you know what size you need to be cutting things to, and then you have scraps. And they know how much scraps they need to go inside of each little quill, little roll, like a cinnamon stick, a quill of cinnamon.
I'm just going to look really nice with my phone. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Here we go, like this.
That looks good.
You see how... I'll show you. But do you see how there's a bunch of tiny pieces of cinnamon inside of the quills? Listen, these look like chocolate and I want to eat them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there's... The quill is the piece that's all the way on the outside.
Right.
And then all the little shavings that they have extra, they don't go to waste. They don't go in the garbage. They go inside the quill.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. This helps you use all the cinnamon bark they can, because they got to use all of it.
And
that
it
makes
goes to
sense.
waste.
It also helps the quill keep its integrity, because it's very fragile compared to acacia that has a very thick bark on it, and it just rolls in on itself.
I'll show a picture of that too, just because I can.
The quill stuffed with shavings dries for like a week. Looks good. Looks good.
See how fat these are in comparison to the other ones?
Oh yeah, they're big moments.
Yeah.
They're big. That's some good stuff.
Oh, here's a perfect picture of them side by side, so you can really see the difference.
Cool. Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
They really are completely different
Yeah.
things. Give that a focus.
Which maybe, okay, you're saying that true cinnamon is the one on the right.
I don't know what this is going to be while watching it, but it's the
acacia one.
It's
the one with less words.
No, the Ceylon cinnamon sticks is real, true cinnamon, and the Casa barks are the ones that come from the cassia tree.
That makes absolutely no sense why they use that then.
Why not? It's cheaper and more abundant.
I guess, but it seems like, well, okay, that's why. Okay. Because you can plant it everywhere. Okay, that makes sense. Because in my head, I'm like, you had so much more on the other side.
I think it's kind of like, the whole conversation that goes about, like, or concept, whatever, about, like,
quality?
$10 boots versus $100 boots, and how you'll have to buy 500 pairs of $10 boots versus one pair of $100 boots.
Right, yeah.
I think it's like that.
And that's fair. Like, when you're a government that's trying to come up with, like, okay, what are we going to import? What are we going to export? What are we known for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are things, like, that'd be a fun episode, I'm not going to lie. Just to try to come up with your own country or whatever, making all of those decisions.
Let's just relive high school the way we would make it.
Yes, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, like, I don't know. That's something that I would be very fascinated in. Because that's a decision that you don't even think... There's no reason for us to be thinking of that. Right? Like, you and I. We don't got to do that.
You don't know. You don't know me.
You know what? Fair enough. If at some point you're like, you know what, cinnamon...
I'm going to run for office. You don't know where I'm going to end up.
That's where I was going. I was like, if at some point cinnamon is very bad, you can just run on that platform and just be like...
Oh, Juan and I... No, I don't know. Recently, I've decided I'm going to go in like a totally normal person. Oh, I'm sharing my plan.
Yeah, you are. Don't.
I'm going to go in like a totally normal person. And then the very first thing I'm going to do is push for a bill that legalizes raccoon ownership in Oregon. And then I'll just walk out the next day after it passes.
You got your one thing planned. Hey, they can't be upset at that.
That's not really what I'll do, but... I mean, I'm just saying, I won't leave. I'll probably do the job right, but I will also try and get raccoons legalized.
Push it on the other guy. Or other gal. So, God. Some plantations take the leaves and boil them. Ooh, fascinating. I'm here for this.
Oh, yes.
The oils in the leaves mixing with the water as it evaporates, and it travels through a pipe to a filtration system. The oil, denser than water, sinks to the bottom of the containers, and then when it's all done evaporating and traveling over and cools down, they scoop the water out of the top and take the oil and sell it.
Did that make sense?
Fun stuff.
Did it make sense?
No, it does, actually. Okay, so what you're saying is that you have a big old pot, and it's boiling or doing whatever it's doing.
Yep.
And then when you pour cinnamon into it, when you put the cinnamon in, it's actually, it sinks in water.
Yep.
Like, its whole thing. So then, it sinks to the bottom, and then it, like, boils up, and it, like, that kind of thing. And then, it's like, it's the whole pot that you have now is just, it's cinnamon oil, rather than just water and cinnamon, right? So then all you got to do is just take the, or maybe, no, hold up, oil floats, it's not denser than water, it floats up to the top.
No, it's denser. So it all comes over into this new one where there aren't any leaves or anything.
Okay.
And then everything settles and all the oil's on the bottom. So then they scoop all the water out. And then all that's left is the oil. I asked if that made sense. I don't know what that says.
No. Okay, I see now. No, because it's boiling, the water is boiling. So it's got probably a different boiling temperature than water. And if the boiling temperature of the oil is higher than water, then all you got to do is just put the temperature at 100 degrees Celsius, and then whatever that 256 Fahrenheit, and then that means that the water is just evaporating, and everything else left in the tank is going to be what you want. That's cool. Does that make sense?
I don't know. I didn't follow what you said.
Okay, because you put it in here that when it's done evaporating, meaning that the water
well,
is
because so
evaporating.
you have your pot here, right? And it's all in there boiling and doing its thing. And when they boil, it evaporates and goes through the tube into the other pot. So then what's left because it evaporates up, the system requires the evaporation from the boiling.
Oh, okay.
And it travels, when it evaporates up, then it travels through a tube to another pot. And the only thing in that pot is the liquids that came out of there. So
right, because
the oil and the water.
liquid is the thing that you want.
Yes.
And then as long as you have like a little air pocket at the top, then the water can still, because now it's a gas, it travels through.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm happy that you put that in there. Oh, God. I love it.
It's cool, right? And then it makes you think, well, I bet you that's like the basic process for like all the different oils they do, like mint oil and spearmint oil.
Yeah, because now that makes sense to me, like just, oh yeah, why wouldn't you just use a thing where, for any oil, I think all oils, it's got a higher, like, boiling point than water.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, just use water as your container.
Yeah.
For boiling it. Because otherwise you're just putting it on a pan and then it's going to get stuck on the pan or the barrel or whatever you're using. And then that's material that you can't use anymore.
Yeah.
You'd have to scrape it off and it's gross.
Yes.
So my sources were North Carolina State University, Observatory of Economic Complexity, Britannica, and PBS. Oh, I'm happy you use PBS.
There was also a YouTube video in there, but like I said, I never finished this, so.
I finished it. And
yeah, you did.
That was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
That was so
we
fun.
Might just have to. That's the new format.
I think that has to be the new format.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun. Which I feel like it's going to be a lot easier for me than it is for you because you actually have like an organized, well put together thing, and I literally just like journal down what I'm learning and then.
Yeah.
You know.
I might try it that way.
But that's going to be hard fun for me. Oh, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not super excited because it's.
We don't have to do that.
No, I mean we can do it. I just worry about trying to read boring people shit because you're not boring. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I read that stuff and it makes me excited. So
I like government relations. You like chess and philosophy. You know. It is the same.
I know it is. That's what I didn't give you shit for getting. Well, I didn't give you shit for getting into Epic. I was excited that you guys had an obsession that's equal to mine in chess now.
Where can they find you?
They can find me at I'm the Johnny 5. That is for TikTok now, and I do a lot of like singing and all that kind of stuff. I'm maybe gonna start streaming for like doing video game stuff. So I have a Twitch, but that's not for this one. For I am the Johnny 5, it is TikTok and chess.com and Reddit. There we go. And then if you want to find me on Lee Chess and
I knew it was going to be long enough.
Johnny 5, Twitch. Yeah, there it is. If you do want to find me on Twitch, I don't stream on Twitch. I'm not going to be streaming on Twitch. But if you want to find me on Twitch and Lee Chess, it's XXX Johnny 5 XXX. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Cat Eater on all the things. CATEATERR.
You make this so fun. I wish I could change it, but I can't. If I change my Lee Chess thing, then I lose all 10,000 games that I played on there.
Wait, really?
I mean, as far as like, you can still look up that account, right? Like, and I can look up like, oh, hey, there you go. But if I can't change the name. I think you get one free change, but I changed it once because I was like, oh, I don't like that it's all lowercase. so I made it capitalized.
All right. Well, welcome back, us, and thanks for listening. If you bothered.
Yep. Yeah, and watching too, if you did.
Yeah. We kind of invested a lot for this, and people told us that we should, so hopefully people do.
Yeah. And this was a lot of fun. I think this might be the new format.
I'm really here for this.
I'm so happy that you enjoyed that. Because
if you object, let us know. I don't know if I'm going to listen to you. But, let us know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Your input matters. You're valid here.
We appreciate you.
We love you.
All right.